Hello, everyone. It's David here. I want to talk to you today about closing your deal, the opening, the trust, and the process. And these are three big things on closing deals. How do we get people, how do you get to the point where you close your deal from start to finish? Well, first of all, let's talk about your opening. If you have your client and you're talking to them on the phone and they're giving you the time of day to talk to you, I have 1 to 10 here on the number line. Actually, I have up through 11 there. They're at, I would say, a -0, but there is no such thing. Zero is just a single number. But let's say they're at -10. They're beyond a 1 at this point. Your job is to get them from a 1 all the way up to a 10 on a level of being able to trust you and want to do business with you. And that's all going to happen in your pitch within the first 5 seconds of the phone call. When a person calls me and I don't know them, they ask me how I'm doing. The last thing I tell them is how I'm doing. I could care less to tell someone who doesn't know me, who's calling me on the phone, how I'm doing. And keep in mind, I'm a person who closes deals every week on the phone with surplus funds, with either tax overages, state funds, or even bankruptcy. There's so many different routes that I'm going right now. And I close deals all the time on the phone. You have to be able to get that pitch in and in the first 5 seconds. And we've been over script quite a bit, so I'm not going to go into that, but you stick with your opening. In essence, I have a line here, if you really look at this, and this is like a straight line that you're taking your person in from your opening to your service you could provide into how you're going to be able to provide that for them. And that's a good way of looking at this from the 3 levels of that. And in a way, what I'm talking about supports that today. So you're first of all, you're pitching the idea to them. You're a salesperson and you're pitching them the idea that they have funds that they don't know that they had or that they haven't been able to claim. And you're asking for their assistance and you're making them aware of this claim. Like I'll say, "Hi, John, this is David Church. Are you aware that 123 Main Street went for over the asking price at auction, meaning there's a surplus funds?" It's all within your pitch. It's all within your opening. You have to be able to stick with it and know that script like the back of your hand. Okay, you're building trust with this person. If a person tells you on the phone, "Let me think about it. Let me check with the spouse. Can I call you back?" 9 out of 10 times, they're basically saying, "You know what? I regret answering the phone. I don't want to talk to you. I'm lying to you," and they're thinking they're being nice and they're really not. I would rather someone say no and hang up on me than say, "Hey, let me call you back." But this is where you have to be able to establish that trust. How can you close someone who says, "Let me check with the spouse," or "Can I call you back," or "Let me think about it"? What I typically will say, and I could probably write 100 different responses, 200, 300 of what people tell me. Okay. So what I'll say is, "Yeah, I understand. Sir or ma'am, can I send you an email and show you the funds that you have? I promise it won't go into a spam. You won't get spam. I won't sell your information, but can I show you this? And what is the best email to reach you at?" When they say, yeah, and I don't put that all in one sentence, I'll say, "Mr. Smith, I totally understand and get it. Meanwhile, is it all right if I send you an email showing you the funds that you have and the agreements that we could go forward with?" Right there, I'm getting my foot in the door. I don't have him from a 1 to a 10, but if he says yes, I definitely have him above a 5. By the way, just because I get someone to a 7, 8, 9, 10 does not mean I'm closing them. It means I'm in the process, okay? I'm in the process. I'm trying to do this. So I'm now bringing him up that number line and trying to get him to a good solid 10, or her, or whoever I'm talking with. And if they say yes, I say, "Perfect. What is the best email to send this information to you?" And I pause and I let them give me the best email. And then sometimes I'll even say, "Is it okay if I follow up with you in a couple of days? It sounds like you're busy. You're going out of town. Is it okay if I follow up with you in a couple of days?" If they say yes, I'll say, "Perfect. What is the best time for me to follow up with you at?" And I'll pause and I'll see what they say. By the way, if they start like trying to side rail you, so this goes trust and process, and I call the process the data. So I call the opening, the sales is the idea, the process I'm calling the data here. And again, this is a straight line. I'm trying to take someone down this road in a straight line process. If I start trying to get personal with them, like, "Okay, cool, Mr. Smith is talking to me. Hey, Mr. Smith, how's your day going? And what's going on?" If I'm truly being phony, Mr. or Mrs. Smith or whoever I'm talking to, they are going to read that and they're going to know it. And that's going to take them from the 7 I just brought them to and put them back at like a 3 or a 2. Like, yeah, this guy's just buffering me up and I could just read it. So your job, you have a lot of moving parts, is to keep your client on this straight path as you're going through, and you have to know the straight path. You have to understand that they're going to try to veer you off this path left and right. Like, how long have you done this for? And maybe ask you a couple questions, and let me talk with the spouse, and let me do this, and let me do that. Well, they're just saying, okay, I'm not going to follow your process. So you should have a roadblock set up for each and every single one of those where you could get them back on track. Perfect. Can I get you the information? What can I do here? And then just let them know, like, and maybe give yourself some credibility. Yeah, you lived at 123 Main Street. This house went up for auction on September 1st of 2020. It sold for this much over asking. We've done this for a number of years, or we have testimonials, or if you're brand new in the business, just say, we help people get paid on these funds that they didn't know they have, and it costs them nothing. Again, stick with the data and get them back on that road where you have their trust, because every single time I get saved in a deal, I stick with data. Last Monday, and last Monday was an insane Monday for me. I loved it. I had 4 verbal confirmations on moving forward. One was actually a call that had happened prior to me making my cold calls. I do this cold calling on Monday. But one was prior to me making that, and then I got 3 deals. It ended up being a 14,000 verbal day for me. It would have been 16,000, but one of the guys had less funds than what he thought. I could deal with that. I'm only going to make 2,000 and not 4. I could deal with that totally. And where I'm going with this is, where I was going with that is last Monday, one of my clients had said to me, and he has actually contacted us back, and he's in the process of signing. He said to me, "Is this legit?" And I paused, and I was on a cold call, and I paused and I said, "Well, I'm only going to ask you for 20,000." And then I came back with that, "No, just excuse that. That's my unprofessionalism." I normally will not say something like that. For whatever reason, my gut just told me it was okay, and I went with it. I normally try to be very professional, and I stick with the process and data on the phone. You don't want to get really chatty and buffering up and act like you know someone and they're your best friend. Again, you're coming off phony. You have a process. Someone has unclaimed funds. You're telling them they have the funds. You're telling them how you can work with them. You're giving them a little bit of authority. You say, with your permission. You have your whole script that you're sticking with, and you stick to the data. If they say that they're going to call you back, they say that they have something else going on, you always want to ask to be able to get your foot in the door. I understand. I get it. Can I get you some docs? Can I show you some information, some documents? Can I show you some information? Can I do something like try to get your foot in the door as much as possible, and just say, hey, I really look forward to maybe working with you on this. I really think we'd be a good fit. A reminder, we're not asking you for any money. That's all huge in this. So I'm saying this a lot because it's just very important. I'm going to be going over a lot more videos this week that elaborates on this and even gets into this in depth. Like a couple of weeks ago, I went into starting the cold calling process, and I have people emailing me saying, hey, I've done that. Now here's where I'm at. Like, some people are saying, hey, I've gotten deals. Other people are saying, I'm just not closing. Well, that's great that you've gone from the first step. I always say this is a step-by-step process. Now you need to go to step 2 and working on closing your deals. We'll be in touch. We'll be doing more videos. Thank you so much for your time. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.